moving on to the insightful session that I was talking about, please help me welcome our special guest for today. She is a 4-time Triple Crown winner, PeopleSoft consultant at Oracle. She has taken up all 7 club officer roles in Toastmasters. She has been the program quality director, the club growth director, and she has taken up many more leadership roles in the district as well. Please put your hands together to welcome our district director, distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha Rangarajan.
Thank you so much, Madam President Asma. It's a huge, fun moment for me to be a part of Milagres Toastmasters this morning. I'm going to keep it as interactive as possible. So even Oliver, who's multitasking with another meeting, I hope you could, somehow be a part of these meeting proceedings and, share on your thoughts and give your opinions as and when you're asked for. Is that okay with everyone? I am so much in love with the members who've turned your videos on, even if you're in awkward, coffee drinking positions or just doing whatever it is. I would really like to see faces of folks who are in the meeting. So if you can, please do come on video. All right, so I want to ask here, I'll probably start with our guest this morning. So Syed, I can see you on camera. There was Srilata and Akshaya was here. Okay, so would you tell me why do you want to join Toastmasters? I know you're just a guest right now, Akshaya and Syed and Srilata. This question is for you. Why do you want to join Toastmasters?
Ma'am, to overcome the fear of stage.
Okay, fear of stage. Speaking in general,
Yeah.
say that, Syed.
Yeah, I get nervous while doing presentations in classes like Viva and all. So I want to remove that fear. So.
Okay, excellent. What about you, Akshaya? Why are you looking at joining Toastmasters?
The thing is, I get very scared to communicate with strangers. I'm starting a small business that I need to communicate with the people. So for that, I wanted to join.
Fantastic. Okay, great. What about you, Srilata? If you're present and if you can tell us. All right, okay. So just like everyone else who looks at joining Toastmasters, we probably have the fear of speaking impromptu, coming and talking to an audience. Now, it's really funny that the number one fear in all over the world is not the fear of death. Know that the number one fear all over the world is actually of public speaking. So it's no surprise that anyone who wants to speak in front of a group of strangers, an audience that you don't know of, you're having these butterflies in your stomach, you're sweating and you're palpitating and all of that coming across. How many have been there and done that at least once? Your brain froze, you just stopped thinking about everything else the few seconds before you had to speak. Have you had that? All right. The one thing that I have seen, and this is not just in Toastmasters, this is just anywhere else, is the idea of practicing. Now, how many of you here have become overnight cyclists? Like you just sat on a cycle and you already sped really fast and you learned the art of cycling overnight. Anybody like that? Any superheroes in the club? All right, let me try another art maybe. Anyone here who picked up your paintbrush? Maybe Mahima might be an exception to that superstar thing, but did you pick up a paintbrush and just did some scribbling and you realized that you were this overnight painter? Superstar already? Anyone like that? You get the drift, right? No one, absolutely no one, not even Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, nobody who's made it big has ever been able to do things right at the first go, which means there needs to be an ample amount of willingness to participate, willingness to practice, and willingness to fail. Let me welcome you to that platform that allows you to practice, participate and fail. Yes, Toastmasters. So when I joined Toastmasters, it was in my corporate club. I work for a software company called Oracle, and I was introduced to Toastmasters because somebody forced me and said, please come and sit in that meeting. We want you to promote Toastmasters in the building. So I went there, I sat down just as a favor to somebody I was working alongside with. When I went to that meeting, I was that backbencher. You know how in every place there's this one backbencher ready to leave the meeting, not wanting to participate? I was that person in the Toastmaster Club meeting. But what I saw in that meeting that one day was when a speaker was speaking and how encouraging they were, how supportive they were, and how much constructive feedback was given to that one speaker so that they can do better is something that bowled me. Second thing that it caught my attention was this table topic section, the impromptu speaking. You would have had an opportunity just before this to attempt on any topic that was given to you by our table topics master. The beauty of this was, while I thought, okay, I speak comfortably, I'm not shy to talk in front of strangers, I've hosted so many events, let me go and attempt what they call as this table topics. So I went there, and to my surprise, I was just blank. I was blank for a good awkward 20 seconds, and I found these first benchers in that club meeting clapping and saying, talk, whatever you want to feel like. Do you want to try something else? Do you maybe want to talk about this aspect of your marriage or something? The question was about the most important thing in your marriage or something like that it was. And I realized that front benchers made all the difference for me. I was not shy to talk. I was not stuck for words, but yet at that point, I froze. I thought that, oh my God, I will not be able to deliver this. This was so awkward for me. And those front benchers made it so comfortable for me. Now, the front benchers could be you in the meeting. How many times have you encouraged someone when they are stuck, when they are lost for words, when they stop speaking and they need that little push, little nudge? I found that in Toastmasters, irrespective of where you go at Toastmasters, that one quality of supporting each other is a constant feeling. Agree or not, the club officers in the group, have you seen that? Because I'm hoping that you would have stepped out and seen other clubs as well. So do you get that feeling irrespective of the club meeting that you attend? Club officers. Okay. All right. So when I was joining Toastmasters, thank you, Mahima, for responding. I was wondering, okay, am I speaking just to myself for a minute? The other thing that I've seen in Toastmasters is the learning is very different for everyone. I might come into Toastmasters for a whole different reason, and somebody else might join for various reasons. So one of the things that is very constant in Toastmasters is that it's a self-paced program, which means you learn and you grow at your own pace. So if you're having too many things to juggle, then maybe you will just do one speech in, say, 2 months or something. If you feel like you have time in hand and you can improve on your speaking, you probably will be giving speeches every other week. So it's totally up to you on what you do. But now let me ask a question to those who have joined Toastmasters. How many of you have joined Toastmasters to become this amazing timer? Anybody here like that? I joined Toastmasters because I need to be like this world's best timekeeper. Anybody? All right, let me try another role then. Anybody here who joined Toastmasters because I had to be the world's best counter? I should be able to find out everybody's crutch words like this. Vanitha, you've used 17 crutch words till now. Anybody like that? Nobody joined Toastmasters to do this timer role, counter role, and things like that. The format of the meeting, and that is from every single room, right from the Sergeant at Arms that gets played by Toastmaster Jayamala to every single meeting role that we have is there for a reason. The time that you do a timekeeper role, an counter role, a grammarian role is all to enhance what is called as your active listening skills. How many times have you sat in a presentation and zoned out, daydreaming, sitting there in your own world of sports or cinema or whatever it is, but When somebody asked you, you would always get up and say, sorry, would you be able to repeat that question? Sorry, I did not understand that clearly. Could you repeat that question? Active listening skills, no matter where you are, in what profession you are, student, entrepreneur, software engineer, or whatever it is that you do, even a homemaker, active listening skills is one important integral part for you to be considered as a human being worth communication. Active listening skills is something that I've picked up so much in Toastmasters, being present to the situation. And so all of these roles that we do, the R counter, the timer, the grammarian role, even the evaluator, you have to keenly listen to a prepared speaker to be able to give feedback from your own. So all of these skills are those that I've picked up from Toastmasters. We have this very celebrity MC amongst us, Leona, right? How do you think she gets to do her MCing so well? Imagine the number of times that she would have taken up the TMOD role, interacted with audience, put together or weave together the entire meeting here. All of those skills that you do in Toastmasters, if you cannot apply it outside, then Toastmasters is not working for you yet. Now, for example, Syed in his introduction, he had mentioned that when it comes to giving presentations, he wants to do better. He gets nervous. Guess what? There is an entire path in Toastmasters called Presentation Mastery, which helps you with just how to give better presentations. But is just tutorial knowledge enough? Just going through some slides and listening to a podcast enough? We need a place to come and practice giving a presentation, correct? We need to come to a place where you can actually deliver the presentation and get feedback on how I could deliver the presentation better. I realized that in the corporate company that I was a part of, I'm part of a community club, an advanced club, and a corporate club. In the corporate club, there used to be this developer, very shy guy. He would absolutely, we'll have to literally pull words out of his mouth, and he would be so shy. When there came a time that he could present something to, there was a DevOps review that he had to do in his office. Guess what he did? 3 weeks before that, he had a presentation prepared for the DevOps meeting that he had to present at. He came to the Toastmaster Club meeting and he made all of us evaluate his speech. So there was one evaluator assigned, but everybody else was given the same feedback sheet and said, please help me improve on this presentation. He delivered that speech 3 times, twice in our own club. Once, I'm talking about a time when we had to go in person. So there was a corporate club neighboring next door. He went there and delivered the same speech as well. Guess what happened to him eventually? Again, no overnight magic. I'm not going to tell you that, oh, you do this once, overnight you're going to become a superstar. No. But he was keeping at it. Every single time he attempted, he did deliver that DevOps. What he went on to be is one of the fewest people in development team where it's full of coding nerds and techies who don't want to open their mouth at all. He went on to represent his entire team at Oracle's Open World. He gave a similar sort of a presentation about a particular this thing that they were patenting in front of customers who joined Oracle's Open World from all over. That's the power of being at it and keeping at it. Now, I talked to you about how nobody in Toastmasters joins Toastmasters to become a great Toastmaster. So how can you leverage on Toastmasters to become great elsewhere? Now, I'm pretty sure, like, if you are not keeping at it at Toastmasters, that means the Toastmaster program is not working for you. Let's take Amita Shetty, for example. Now, if she decided to just be within the club, within the organizing group of where she was comfortable with, she wouldn't have been able to organize an event for the district and taking care of coordinating a particular event at the district's annual conference the last year. It would have just not been possible. And what's the use of doing things inside of a club meeting or in one's comfort zone if you're not able to be bold enough to venture outside? Let me take another example of our own member itself, Asma Sheikh. She's amazing at designing posters. But how would we even know that we are capable of doing so much and so much more unless we actually venture out? She was a part of the district PR team, I think, for 3 years now, Asma. 2 years, all right. So 2 years, she went on to serve the entire district by making some amazing posters. And trust me, these are one of the best posters that I've seen that has come out of any individual. Using your talent to the best possible ability and finding avenues inside of Toastmasters on how you can do better. Today, we are seeing some fantastic emceeing by Shushma Shetty. But if we let the superstar just be inside of the club, then how will we even know about what she's capable of? So maybe the next area meeting that we have by our area director, Anupama, the next division meet, only if Sushma is coming out and trying her hand at, emceeing, will this be better for her. Last but not the least, we have this amazing crafts person amongst us who nicely turned her video on at this point. Can you imagine the number of people who joined her craft session every single time that she put on a status message on her own personal WhatsApp group? My children enrolled in it and they have told me that this was one of the best sessions that they got to attend, learning how to do greeting cards and things like that. Now, the skill that they picked up now is the permanent way. Everyone, whoever has a celebration in the house, they make beautiful cards because they learned it well with Mahima. Now, Mahima, if she had just chosen to use Toastmasters for inside of the club, where's the benefit? Instead, what she did was one of the most underrated things in Toastmasters, the power of networking. The power of reaching out to people who can help you in your profession. So tomorrow when Akshaya wants to start something new, guess the place that she can come to for ideas and suggestions. This very Toastmaster club, the entrepreneurial journey that you want to invest in, the new things that you want to start, Toastmasters starts becoming a family-like situation here. You come to your family and you eat their head for, I need help, I need suggestions. How can I do this better? How can you help me do this? That's exactly how Toastmasters becomes for a lot of us. Give me a heart symbol if you feel that this is such a close-knit place for me that Toastmasters has definitely become a family. Okay, great. Thank you so much for all the hearts. And trust me, this is the exact same feeling over all the 15,800 clubs that we have across the world. The same family-like feeling. So whenever it is time for Syed and Akshaya and probably Srilata to join us in the Toastmaster community here, one thing we will be sure is that as long as you want to grow, there will be people to support your growth. A quick shout out to Oliver and Zakir Panambur. Now, these are two people who decided not just taking care of the club, let me also take care of a few clubs in the area. So they went on to becoming what we called as district officers and served a little beyond. It needed a little additional time. I know a lot additional time. A little additional effort and coming out of their comfort zones of just being in their own clubs, taking care of other clubs to do well as well. They earned the title of Distinguished Toastmaster only because they took that extra step. Now today, if they want to do any leadership role in any of the professional places that they are associated with, leadership will come a little more easily because they have learned to manage people, resources and time of somebody else even without them being affected by the modality of the corporate this thing. So these are some of the skills that you can pick up. Now I want to stop here, and before I stop, I want to leave this open for some questions that you might have. But before I stop here, one very important saying that we've had from the first woman president that we had at Toastmasters International. Now, before I get to that quote also, let me tell you of this one fancy place that we've had breakfast buffet at. Unmute and tell me this one place that you went and had the best breakfast spread. The buffet for breakfast. Do you have any such place, Mangalore or otherwise, that you've gone and thought of and had at least 30, 40 items on the breakfast buffet? Anything like
Ideal
that?
Cafe.
Okay. Any other place like that?
There's this breakfast place in Bangalore in Indranagar. I just can't place the name right now, but the English breakfast there is absolutely mind-blowing.
All right. Okay. Think of
The,
yes, Ashwita, you were going to say something. Sorry.
there's a breakfast place in Goa called the Infantry, which has amazing breakfast spread. Yeah.
All right. Do you remember the feeling that you went into that kind of a spread and you were so confused? What do I have now? Like, do I have this? Do I have that? There's only so much that I can fill into my stomach. Do you remember how you felt? And then you decided, okay, maybe you know what? I'll try this. The first 20 minutes, let me eat this. Let me give my body some rest. I'll sit down, calm down, and then I'll go back again for the second helping and probably the third. And depending on how comfortable you are with eating a buffet, the fourth and fifth. I remember that my husband, every time we go for a breakfast buffet, he will have at least 6 plates, making sure that he has tried and tasted everything from that spread. It takes a commitment like that even for food. Toastmasters is exactly like that breakfast buffet. There are so many things that you can pick up from Toastmasters. Did I come here for communication and leadership? Maybe not. What did I get instead? I got the art of delegation. I got how important listening is. I got the fact of time management being so crucial to any leadership role that I take up. These are skills that I picked up in Toastmasters in addition to being a better speaker and probably a better leader. But what Toastmasters can give you is only and only what you want to get out of Toastmasters. And for that, I want to leave you with this one quote. If you can get whatever you can get out of Toastmasters, then you will never get out of Toastmasters. So please make sure that you are in this program, learning the most, growing the most, using this platform to participate, practice, and remember to fail. Because when you do well here, you'll do even better outside of Toastmasters. Thank you so much. And I'd like the floor. I see a green card that Balakrishna sir is showing me. So I'm guessing we have some time for questions, any opinions, any thoughts at all. Thank you, Amita. I'm seeing chat right now. Thank you, Leona. I'm seeing. Do we have any questions? If you don't have questions, I'm going to ask you questions. Okay, so let's ask Charlene here. This is some great commitment that you have, Charlene. You are unwell and you even came on video and you ended up being on video the entire session. So thank you so much for the invitation. And I want to ask you, what has made you a difference before Toastmasters, after Toastmasters? What is the delta that you have found in Toastmasters challenge?
Good morning, everyone, and especially to DTM Vanitha. Toastmasters did not help me only in communication, it also helped me as a person to improve the way I am today. And there are many people like you, especially, you are a motivation for me and for most of the members. Your presence and speech brings so much of energy, and this is a podium where we learn together. And I just want to ask you one question: how you made the best utilize this podium to the best of your ability? And how did you utilize this?
All right. So thank you so much for that challenge. First of all,
hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You asked me how I use the podium to the best possible utilization. Your question, your voice was breaking, but I kind of got the gist of it. Can you confirm that for me, Shalin?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Before I ask that question to Shalin, I want probably Nehal to unmute and tell me what's the delta that you've seen from before you joined Toastmasters to now you at Toastmasters. What do you see as a difference in you?
My apologies. DTM Vanitha. My video will be off because
No
I'm
problem
in
at
a
all.
bad
As
network
long as
zone.
we can hear you, I'm happy.
That's great. So the delta that I've seen from when I joined Toastmasters to now, I've not been here for a very long time. I've been here for 6 or 7 months.
Mhm.
But I think what I have realized is I've become more accommodating. Yeah, and I have grown more patient, and I've seen how when a team works together, you can achieve great things. So I'm here to learn. I'm here to understand how team dynamics, especially management dynamics, works towards growth in general, because that's something that's aligned towards my learning goals, and professionally especially. And in terms of public speaking, I had a lot of trouble with prepared speeches. I always tell my friends, I can rouse an army if you don't give me time to prepare, but if you give me time to prepare, I will for sure mess it up. So that's where I'm working at. I'm trying to work at prepared speeches. So this is the delta that I've seen. Growth is, yes, it's slow and it is a very steep curve, but I'm very happy that we're here and I'm learning.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm guessing that's the same amount of energy that we get. Different people get different things from Toastmasters. Christopher, sir, I'm really curious to know what is the delta that you feel, because you've been here for a really long time and we're so grateful for your presence in Toastmaster club meetings, district events. You never fail to attend our district events. I want to know what has been your personal delta. What's your learning in Toastmasters? Sir, can you unmute? You'll have to click on the unmute button.
Okay, hello, sorry. Yeah, frankly speaking, I joined Toastmasters just for the heck of it because our club wanted to get 20 members and I was approached to join. I did not know what Toastmasters was about. So I didn't join with any ambition, for anything. But I so liked the atmosphere in the Toastmasters meeting and how you build a relationship with all the Toastmasters in your club. That it is a nice atmosphere and I really enjoy it, and hence I've continued with Toastmasters.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm pretty much sailing on the same boat. When I joined Toastmasters, I didn't have anything to join Toastmasters for, but I loved it so much. I'm staying here at 6 years and more, and I continue to be related to Toastmasters. Thank you for sharing that, Christopher, sir. Now, quickly just adding to one point that Toastmaster Christopher had mentioned right now. In this pandemic age where everyone's decided to shut off, completely cut off from people, Toastmasters has been that one place where it's kept me sane. Coming to my club meetings, chatting with my club members right after the meeting got over, and being connected to people. Otherwise, I was only seeing 4 people and a dog in my house, and it was pretty annoying for me at a point. So I'm so grateful that I had Toastmasters that I could interact with. In our club, we have an after party culture where after the meeting, we would all sing songs and we talk about the movies we saw or things that we, books that we read during that week's meeting. And so everybody would just stay back to chit chat. I found that the collaboration or the networking, which is such an underrated part of Toastmasters, really helped me to be sane, to be still a committed mother and not like kill people at my house, because otherwise I'd have gone crazy during COVID. So that's one thing that I wanted to acknowledge just when Christopher sir was saying. So answering Shalin's question on how to make the maximum of Toastmasters is, first things first, it begins at home, which means at your club. Take as many roles as you can, especially the roles that you think you cannot do. And remember that you cannot do it well the first time. You might not, but always take the opportunity in the club. Giving it speeches, taking up roles, be regular, be your vice president education's most favorite member. By that I mean attend club meetings regularly and take up things here. Every single time you take up a role, see how you can do it differently from the last time you took up that same role. Because here in Toastmasters, you're not competing with anyone else, but you're competing with your earlier version, being a better version of just yourself. The second thing for people who've been here and done that for a while in Milagres Toastmasters, how about you represent Milagres and step out to other club meetings, the collaboration meetings that you have with linkers meetings that you have outside of the area, the division meetings, represent Toastmasters in your club and go and see how you can serve and learn from attending meetings outside. I gave you some stellar examples of people who stepped out of your club and put Milagres on the mark or the district's map. So go ahead and do that. One thing for sure is that don't get stuck in one single thing or one single place, because Toastmasters is a sea of opportunities. And the moment you feel you're getting bored, have a conversation with Asma, or she will put you on to me. If you feel like Toastmasters is not getting you something, then have a conversation with district officers, club officers who can help you get more out of the program. Because like I said, you can get so much out of the program that you will never want to get out of the program. That's my take on this. I hope I answered your question to some amount, Shalin. And I'll now hand it back to our MC, Toastmaster Shushma.
Thank you, DTM Vanitha, for your time, insights, and your optimistic and vivacious presence. I'm sure we all got to learn, ponder, and even enjoy it.